Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I have been busy putting plants in the garden before the winter comes, and my goal was to clear all my plants, and I actually got pretty close to doing that. Then sales. Came across some really amazing clearance deals at Home Depot, and I couldn't resist, so my almost empty plant stash just has now exploded. So I wanted to share with you a clearance plant haul because I got some really amazing deals that I just could not pass up. They were just too good. So I wanted to share with you what I got because I'm really excited about it. So first, I got some more HWOA all gold grass. So I don't have any grasses in my garden other than this one I just put into this year. So I really like this all gold. You can see like the beautiful chartreusey color, how it kind of waves. There's some blooms on this one, little plumes you can see there. So this HWOA all gold, I'm wanting to get right in the garden as soon as possible because last year I bought an expensive version of this, which was a very large pot from a very nice nursery in town, and it was about $30. I left it over winter, didn't get around to planting it, and it didn't come back in the pot. It died in the pot. So these I got for $3, and they're originally, you can see, $8.98. So instead of $9, I got them for $3, and I already have 2 in the garden, and I bought 3 more because these were really nice specimens. You can see here they almost have like this kind of bamboo look to them. And I wanted an odd number. So first I was just going to buy 2 more. And then I thought, you know what, I'll find place for 3. So 3 HWOA all gold, which are beautiful. So that's my first plant that I wanted to share with you. Second plant I bought was, I don't have any rudbeckia in my garden. I've never really been a fan of that. It's like a very large plant and it's like yellow flowers. It's also known as, I think, black-eyed Susan or brown-eyed Susan. So I never had that in my garden because I was never a fan. But this summer I drove past almost an estate, you would call it, that's nearby in the countryside here. And at their front gate, they had a huge mass of rudbeckia that just looks so stunning, like such a big impact. So I thought I would give it a try, but I wanted to ease into it. So I just bought 1 plant, and it was originally $14.98. And I got it for $3, so it was a good deal. It was like it's a pretty large pot. And you can see there's no flowers, which is fine because I would have cut them off anyway. So I do want this plant to focus on root development rather than blooms. So that's good. And there is some new growth inside here. So I think it's a very healthy plant. And this variety is called Goldstrum. So it's kind of like a classic variety, very well known. And I'm going to put it next to something in my garden that blooms purple, just to have that contrast. So the first time I'm adding rudbeckia to my garden, and I figure if I don't like it, I can always just pull it out. So that's the second plant I wanted to share. And then the next plant that I bought, so this is a clematis or clematis. You can see that it's got a lot of weeds overgrown in the pot. And you can see it's not in the best shape, but it still has some green on it. And it's got those seed pods, but I think it will be okay. It was half price, so I basically got it for $7-8. And it's called Viva Colonia. And I actually have this one in my garden already, and it does really well for me, which is why I bought this one, because I think it will do really well. So I'll show you the tag. Called Viva Colonia vine, and it, like I said, it's proven itself in my garden, so I think it'll do well. It's a clematis, and basically its hardy zones 4 to 9, and it needs part to full sun, so either 4 hours plus. Blooms in summer, and it is cool, moist, well-drained soil, so you want to definitely cover the roots so the roots stay cool. But this is a beautiful flower. It has such big flowers on it. So this one I'm going to get planted, and hopefully it will make it back next year, because I find these also don't overwinter well for me. So that's another one. So that was my first trip, and I thought I did a really good job, and I was like, that's a manageable number. I can get those in the ground. Then a few days later, I went to a different Home Depot on my way home. Just thought I would check it out, see what their inventory is. And wow, they had such an amazing variety and such good deals that I couldn't pass those up. So I'll share with you what I got there. So I am a real big fan of the Stormcloud Msia because their blooms are this periwinkle blue. And you may know that blue or true blue is very hard to find in the garden. So I love these because they have like these black, dark stems, and then they also have fall interest. So in the fall, they'll turn these like vibrant colors as well. And they're a herbaceous perennial, I believe, so they disappear in winter, but then in spring, they'll shoot up these little shoots, which are very, very interesting to look at. And actually, it's exciting to see them because you know, like your garden is coming back after the cold winter. So Amsonia Stormcloud, I got 2 of these. I already have several of these in my garden, but I can always find space for these. So these are a nice, tall, upright perennial. And these were also $3 and originally $14.98. So a really good deal. So I got 2 of those. Beautiful specimens. And while I was there, I also saw some more Fall in Love Sweetly anemone. So I'll show you that. So I just watered these, so they're a little bit wet here. But basically, I'll show you the tag. This is mass planted. So I have these in my garden. They're full sun to part sun. And basically I had put one here, one there. And I wanted to try kind of doing more of a mass planting for more impact. So these bloom late summer to early fall. So they're basically good to extend your season. They're fall bloomers. They're semi-double rose pink flowers. They have a yellow center. And yes, they are pretty tall and they are a perennial. And basically, I'll show you one that has a bloom on it because these I'm going to plant in a group. So I got a bunch of these and I planted an Honorine Joubert anemone, and I'm going to plant this nearby there because that is a part shade location. So these are pretty good shape. Let me show you one with the bloom. Oops. So there's the bloom. You can see how beautiful it is. Just lovely. This one has lots of buds on it. So I've had 4 of these, I believe. So I'm going to plant them in a group, and you won't be able to distinguish one plant from another. So you don't really need even and odd numbers. Don't have to worry about that. And the other one I wanted to show you that I got earlier this season, I bought Pink Dawn Salvia, and that is a light pink. And mainly I was thinking about buying the pink profusion, and honestly the reason is because I've seen a lot of YouTuber videos talking about this plant and how it is just like a non-stop bloomer and it's like a workhorse in the garden and it's such a great plant. So I was kind of influenced, you can say, by other YouTubers and their gardens and how highly they spoke of this plant. So when I saw it again on clearance for $3 instead of $14.98, I snatched those up as well. And I got a bunch of these, and I got 5. Let's see, 1, 2, yes, 5 of these. So let me show you. So this is the bloom. So you can see this is kind of in the container. It's been like in there all season, and I'm sure these will get larger when they're in the landscape, but you can see the beautiful color on them. So these are a much deeper pink than the Pink Dawn. They're almost purple. I think the like calyxes, I think they're called, are purple, so they do have like a depth to them. So I will tell you that these get 14 to 16 inches high, and they need to be spaced 16 to 20 inches apart. They're perennial in zones 3 to 8. So I'm zone 8B, so they will come back for me, and they bloom late spring to early summer. So that basically late spring to early summer, and then the anemones will pick up late summer to early fall, so you have kind of a long season of color. These flowers are darker pink, and they are called Pink Profusion, and they require full sun. Let's show you the tag there. Full sun for these ones. Beautiful plant. Excited to see how those do. I'll have to find a nice sunny spot in my garden for those. Now, the other plants I couldn't pass up were heuchera. So I love heuchera, and I really just cannot pass those up. So when I saw that they had wild rose on sale for $3 instead of basically $15, I couldn't resist. This is wild rose. It's a perennial, so it'll come back. Basically, this one it's also known as coral bells or heuchera. It's a short one. It's 8 to 10 inches tall. It's great for like front of borders, and you space it 26 to 30 inches apart. This perennial in zones 4 to 9, so it'll come back. It's supposed to come back for me. And basically, this one is a really deep purple, and it thrives in part shade, but will also grow in sun and shade. I find that I do need to protect it from some sun because it does burn if it's too much sun. So it has beautiful foliage, and then also shoots up these blooms. You can see those on there. So it's kind of got a lot of interest to it. And basically, I love this plant. You have to just plant it a little bit deep, because otherwise in the winter, what happens in the freeze-thaw cycle, it will get lifted, and you don't want that. You don't want it lifting and being out of the soil. So this one is called Wild Rose, and I actually got a few of these, and I'll show you all of them because there's another specimen, Wild Rose. Again, I just watered this one. You can see the leaves. It's got like that deep veining, and it's got the beautiful color to it. Actually matches my shirt today. And I wanted to show you the difference between a wild rose and a wild berry. So I also bought a wild berry. Let me show you the tag for that one. So this one is wild berry, Dolce wild berry. It's also a heuchera, and it needs sun or shade, and basically it is 10 to 14 inches tall and 16 to 20 inches spacing. So pretty similar to the wild rose. Perennial in zones 4 to 9, and it requires sun to shade. So it thrives in part shade, but will grow in full shade. So you can put this in full shade, and it doesn't really, you don't want to put it in sun. So I think the wild rose can handle more sun than the wild berry. But I wanted to show you these two side by side because I can never tell them apart unless they are side by side. So this one here is the wild rose, and I'll show you the wild berry next to it. So it's a very subtle difference, but you can see the wild berry, it has a bit of a deeper purple to it, less red. So it's the depth of the purple. And I think the wild berry, the leaves are a little bit bigger, but both of them are lobed in the same type of way. So yeah, once I have these next to each other, then it's really easy to tell the difference, that the wild berry is a deeper, darker purple. Both of them are just gorgeous. And you know, now what I can do, the ones I have in my garden that I couldn't tell which are which, I can take these plants around and identify those. Okay, so I got those because who doesn't love more purple in the garden? And then also, I got to share that I got cherry truffles heuchera. So I had cherry truffles in my garden, and it didn't come back. It died. I think it was in just too much of a moist area. So I bought 3 more because it was such a good deal. So this one is heuchera cherry truffles Dolce. And you can see the difference between this one is it's more red, and it's got the ruffles to it, which are so cute. That little ruffle to the leaf. And it is a sunshade perennial. So much more red to that. It's also known as coral bells again. It's 8 to 10 inches tall, so a little bit smaller. Spread of 26 to 30. It's perennial in zones 4 to 9. And it blooms early to midsummer, and it needs sun to shade. So it's a beautiful bright red, heavily ruffled leaves, a low mounding habit. In the summer, it matures the color to a rich mahogany red, and it has light pink flowers, perfect for sun or shade. So this one can handle a little bit more sun. Isn't that just stunning? Just love this. I was so upset when the 2 I had in my garden didn't come back. So I'm going to really try to amend the soil, plant these a little bit higher. So this one I'm going to plant a little higher because it needs good drainage. I think that's the reason why they didn't come back for me. And I also have another one, which is similar, but this one is called Mahogany Monster. So actually this one has a bloom stalk on it, so you can see that. Let me hold that for you. So it's white blooms. Yeah. I already have Mahogany Monster in my garden, and it is really, really a strong plant. Like, it comes back, it's very healthy. So this is called Primo Mahogany Monster. It needs sun or shade. It's a heuchera, also known as a coral bell. See the picture of that? This one is a red one, and basically it is 12 to 16 inches tall. It's a little bit bigger. The last one I showed you, 22 to 28 inch spread. Perennial in zones 4 to 8. And yeah, so the leaves are known to be bigger on this one, and that's why it's called Mahogany Monster. And it just is lovely. And I'm realizing that all of this kind of color scheme is the same because I didn't buy any light ones. And the reason is because, first of all, the light ones don't tend to do well for me in my garden. And secondly, like, when they do come back, they come back really small. And these ones I'm just more drawn to the colors, these dark, beautiful colors. So what I'm going to have to do is when I do plant all these, I'm either going to have to note down what each variety is because they are so similar that sometimes you can't remember. And I'd like to be better at doing that. I say I do that, but this time I actually hope I will. So now my goal is to try to get all of these planted before it gets too cold. And today was a beautiful day. Unfortunately, I was at work most of the day, and it got up to 22 degrees Celsius, which is about just over 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really nice. And it was sunny. Now it's kind of gone overcast, but it was sunny most of the day. So we get these beautiful days that we're lucky to get, but usually by Halloween, it's like raining, and you really don't want to be in the garden because it's so muddy and mucky and cold, and you don't really want to be digging in the mud. So I'm hoping that I have time to get all these planted. And one other thing that I ordered that I had forgotten that I ordered was from a specialty nursery that does bulbs in our area. I had ordered Muscari from them the previous year, and those did beautifully. And this year, I guess I had ordered these and forgotten I ordered them. So I have 20 of these bulbs, and they're called Bridal Crown. So I think they're a daffodil. I couldn't really remember what I ordered, so I just picked them up, and I'll have to plant all these. I have to decide if I want to plant them in a pot or in the landscape. So I really don't like planting bulbs, but for some reason I ordered more. So I will have to get that done. It'll pay off in the spring, I'm sure, when I have beautiful flowers coming up early in the spring and nothing else is blooming. All right, so that's most of my plants, and I have some more that I wanted to show you. I did buy some more Pulmonaria Spoton because they just do so well in my garden. They love the moist soil. So I bought 3 of those as well. And I've just got them soaking because they looked a little rough. If they don't get water, they kind of pout. So I watered them, and I'll show you those now. All right, so here I have my 3 Spoton Pulmonaria, and they didn't look like this bad when I bought them. So just so you know, these are looking like that, floppy and dehydrated, because they were sitting in my trunk and I didn't take them out. So they really desperately needed water, and I've just watered them. So this one is already perking back up, so those will be just fine. And those were also $3 a piece. And you can see here I have one planted, so I wanted to show you that one, because this one I had divided, and you can see how well it's still doing. It is just thriving. It is getting bigger. And yeah, for the end of the season, it's looking amazing. So because these do so well for me, I wanted to get more of these. Hence why I got these 3. So 3 more plants to show you from my plant haul. So here you can compare the 4 different heucheras, which are all shades of a variety of purple or red. We have the cherry truffles, which is very similar to the Mahogany Monster, with the exception of the very, very ruffled leaves. And then we go to our purples. We have the Wild Rose, which is a lighter pink, or lighter purple, sorry, and then the Wild Berry, which is a much deeper purple with bigger leaves. Also low leaves, but still bigger leaves. So Wild Rose makes sense. Rose, more red, you would think. Wild Berry is much more deeper purple. And then we have Mahogany Monster. And I think with sun, these colors do deepen. And the Cherry Truffles. So, all laid out. You can pick your favorite one and add those to your garden. Or do like I do and get them all. And I almost forgot that I also bought 2 more bleeding hearts. So these are the old-fashioned bleeding hearts, and these are the ones that are the traditional pink and white blooms. So I popped that in there because I forgot I had bought it and placed it already to plant. So I have one here, and then basically I had previously planted this one. And then I have, just going along this garden bed, I have one here. And then I bought a third one that I'm going to pop right back there. So that is hopefully going to come back for me in the spring. And hopefully I will remember where I planted them so I don't dig in that spot again. But yes, those ones I love, bleeding hearts, those pink and white blooms. And they were $3. So every time I'm there and I see them, I always pick up some. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the reason is I just wanted to get some repetition in this garden bed here. And you can see that having it kind of dotted throughout will give me a lot of spring color all along the line here. And I think that'll look good. Hi everybody, so thank you so much for watching my plant haul, and I hope you're excited about these deals as I am. So get out there and get to your garden centers and big box stores and get these deals while they're still there. And hopefully you can subscribe. It is free, and then you can see where all these plants end up in my garden. Hopefully I get them in before winter so that they will be giving me a beautiful display in spring and beautiful blooms in spring and fall next year. And if you subscribe, hopefully you can follow along and see how they turn out, if they make it or don't make it. But I really appreciate you watching and hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.